What's up, guys? I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers, back to bring you guys your 5 p.m. hail forecast update, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, and American Contractor. Go ahead and check them out in the description to this video. Sorry about those technical issues. We're working from the producer desk today, so we've got a whole new setup going on, and we had a power outage shortly before this, so it kind of messed with a bunch of stuff. But we're going to talk a little bit about some of the updates we have for our hail forecast as well as our wind forecast for today. OKC, you are still in the risk, so we're just going to dive in here. So looking at our current conditions, you can see that low pressure system really well spinning away here through the central plains. There it goes, making its way into the Kansas and Oklahoma area. And with that, there is now a severe thunderstorm watch out. That is going to be for ping pong ball sized hail, as well as up to 70-mile-an-hour winds and isolated tornadoes. That's pretty similar to what we're looking at into this afternoon and evening. So zooming on in there, we've got a bit of precip happening near the Wichita area. It's a little more intense than what is actually reaching the ground, it seems. But we do have some storms starting to bubble up in the south central Kansas area, getting ready to move over Wichita. And then we've got some more bubbling up near the western Oklahoma area, and that's where we're going to get our severe thunderstorms is along this line later on this evening. And so that's going to form in a few hours here, more after dark is what we're looking at. But you can, again, you can really see that low pressure system and its intensity if we look here at our current temperatures. So again, it's sitting on the Kansas-Nebraska border and like right over Oklahoma is the center of that. So it's 45 degrees in Denver, 72 in Kansas City. So a pretty sharp cold front is moving into central Kansas ahead of that system. And then ahead of that cold front and dry line is where we're going to get those storms initiating later on this evening with this system. So 79 in Dallas, 78 in Houston, plenty of heat, plenty of instability in the area to support those thunderstorms later on as we go. So I'm switching back and forth here. Don't say KC, we have to break the curse. Your comments are on the screen over here, but yeah, fingers crossed for KC into tonight. We'll see what we can get. The models have been showing a little bit more of a consistent run into the KC area, and we'll talk about that in a second here. But want to talk to you guys a little bit about the forecast cap along with the radar, because that's going to cause some complications into later tonight. But for those of you who are new to hail trace, the cap is just what keeps the storms from forming, especially near the ground. And then we want CAPE, or the opposite of that, the instability, to help the storms to form. But right now we've got some capping issues. All of this blue outlined here is going to be the cap over the area, and it's pretty strong right now. You can see some storms have still been able to form over it along the western portion of this line here, over near Wichita, and then over in the southwest Oklahoma and west central Texas area. But those storms are going to be elevated, which just means it gives it more time for that hail to melt as it falls to the ground, which is kind of why we're holding off on those super large hail sizes into tonight and tomorrow. So we've got that cap in place by 8 p.m. That's when those storms are expected to initiate. And then by 9, it's starting to break a little bit in central Oklahoma. You can see those blues starting to lighten up, and those ground colors starting to appear where that cap has broken. And we still have those elevated storms above that. And then by midnight, when things have fully banded up, that's when we're going to start to see that cap fully break, and those storms can really get going and rage on through eastern Oklahoma, as well as the southern Mississippi Valley by tomorrow morning. So that cap is going to, again, cause some issues when it comes to the largest hail sizes into tonight, as well as the longevity of how long that hail can sustain itself. So making sure, people are saying no sound, but it's back. So yeah, we've got Frank and Heather monitoring in the other room. So guys, if I run out of sound, just holler. We're using the producer mic today, like I said, so just a different system that we're working with. But we've got our significant hail model as well, and that's just going to show how all our instability factors come together to produce that large hail for us into tonight. And we've got those moderate values working for us in about an hour here. So that's going to be through Wichita and western Oklahoma specifically, where those storms initiate, and we're seeing those good, moderate, warm hail model sizes through that area. So could see a ping pong ball or two with some hailstones through there with those elevated storms. By 8 p.m., again, storms are going to be blowing up through western Oklahoma and northwest central Texas, you know, near the Wichita Falls area. By around 8 p.m. And so again, still got some good significant hail model values around there, but then things start to taper off later this evening as we run out of that daytime heating, and as those storms start to band up, those hail sizes start to drop off, and then by midnight, again, band of storms moving through, going to pose mostly a wind threat as well as a possible isolated tornado or two as that drives eastward through tomorrow morning. So putting that all together, here's what we got for our future radar for you guys. So Wichita, you guys are likely going to get hit first with this system, with that band moving through. You guys can see it there. It is going to initially be a band, but we will have a couple of loner storms that are going to track over you guys afterwards, according to these new model runs here. So there they go. And then by 8:30, want to circle this little guy heading right north of Omaha. Could produce some larger hail with that, since it again is staying singular according to the latest runs of these models. They have been fairly consistent with this as well. And then this band moving over Kansas City, we could get some quarters with that if it does stay banded up like that. There's still possibility that we could get some quarters to $half as well, but it's probably going to be a windy storm as it moves over you into later this evening around 10 p.m. Then it's going to continue to track over Des Moines by 11, still training over Kansas City. So you guys will get a lot of rain, a lot of wind with this. So be prepared for maybe some street flooding with that. And then it's going to continue to track eastward through the late night hours, now through central Missouri and eastern Iowa. And then finally making its way through the central Mississippi Valley and into the Midwest, into Illinois by 11 a.m. tomorrow, as again, just a band of windstorms. Then for the southern plains, that's where we'll have a better chance for some large hail. So like I said, things are going to start to initiate with those isolated cells by around 8 p.m. there. And you can see, again, those are forming along that cold front and out ahead of it and along that dry line. So as those form, they're going to continue to develop, but then they're going to develop into kind of a cluster and a band. So this is by 9 p.m. Things are starting to get a little bit messier, and those hail sizes are going to start to just tank as they continue to form into a band. So then by 10 p.m., moving into OKC, and then by 11, we've got a cluster of storms that's in the metro area. They could produce some quarters to $half. I'm holding off on putting anything larger for you guys into tonight, just because, again, of the storm mode and how quickly it develops into that line. However, if you can get a singular storm, there is instability enough in the area for you guys to possibly get a ping pong ball or two. But models have been very consistent thus far in producing a line over Oklahoma City, and there it goes. As it passes through, by midnight, should be out of your neck of the woods, and then continuing to move eastward into the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area by around 1, and then out of DFW. And then you start to see it form that really nice, again, it's this band of storms right there through the DFW area and all the way down into southern Texas. And with that, we could see very strong winds again as that moves eastward through the southern Mississippi Valley into Arkansas, into Louisiana by tomorrow morning. So here's our final hail forecast for you guys for today for Storm System Brandon as it develops and pushes into the Central Plains. So the biggest changes we have made thus far is we have taken this orange and we pushed it a little bit eastward, and then we have taken the orange in Kansas and pushed that a little bit eastward as well, just because it looks like we're going to get more singular storms pushing that way into an area of higher instability. So if you guys are in Omaha, Des Moines, or Kansas City, still low end chances for you since you're on the north end of this risk with less instability, and it's looking like it's going to be banding up once again as it moves into your area. But then once we move down into Wichita, you guys are now in a moderate for seeing hail because of those singular storms passing over. Oklahoma City, a moderate for hail. again, hesitant to put you guys in ping pong to golf ball size stones because of that storm mode, which is why you guys are right on the edge of that orange and yellow. Tulsa, low end chances for you for hail tonight, but if you do, could be quarters. And then Abilene probably has the best chance of seeing hail tonight, still a moderate, but ping pong balls are more likely for you. Could see maybe an isolated golf ball, but again, like John said earlier today, that's going to be very few and far between. And then Dallas-Fort Worth once again in a low end chance for hail, mostly wind for you guys, but we could see a quarter or two. That's not out of the question. And then last but not least, our wind forecast update for today. We have pushed now the swath upward. And that was pretty much the only major change we've made to this, was extending that swath upward through Iowa. I want to make sure there's no questions. Anything for North DFW? Yeah, no, like we said, probably going to look more like wind for you guys, but a quarter or two can't be ruled out. And then let's see, watch DFWs get baseballs now. Yeah, I mean, cross your fingers, you never know. Could happen, but it's likely just going to be a wind event for you guys. But we'll have plenty more chances throughout the year. So now moving into wind. So if you guys are in Des Moines, Omaha, Kansas City, once again, low end chance for you on the north end of the system. But then down into Wichita, Tulsa, Oklahoma City, starting to see better chances as we move southward along that cold front. Abilene, in between you and OKC, is where we'll have the best chance for those tornadoes to form with those singular cells. But again, it bands up really quickly, so it's mostly going to be straight line winds. And as John said, there's a possibility for this to turn into a derecho event. We're watching it closely for those strong winds as they pass through DFW once again. Wind chance for you guys. So could be setting up to be kind of a wild night here. Things are going to start pretty late, so our team is going to be up monitoring it as usual. Make sure you follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and we're also on TikTok now, so you can see our office shenanigans. And you know, if we go live, that's always on YouTube and Facebook, so make sure to hit see first and hit that notification bell so you always catch us there. And then if you want to get in contact with us, our phone number is 855-334-4245. So call us and say hey, ask any questions there. You can also email us if you'd rather at info@hailtrace.com, or check us out at hailtrace.com for more details on who we are and what we do. And we'll keep you updated as always. Thank you guys for your patience with our technical troubles. We are working on becoming producers as well. But thanks for sticking with us. We appreciate your viewership, and we'll keep you updated as always. And for now, I'm meteorologist Andrew Myers. Thanks for watching.